Hello and welcome to the monthly edition of the Executive Director's Blog. Today we're doing things a little bit different, and we have invited our CASA case supervisors and a couple of CASA volunteers today to help us talk a little bit more about the Fostering Futures curriculum. As many of you remember, we implemented this curriculum in the fall of 2019, thanks to a grant from National CASA Association to be able to do this curriculum. So the basis of what Fostering Futures is that it takes CASA volunteers who have already gone through training and provides a little additional training for them specific to the needs of youth who will be aging out of foster care. The needs of that population are so specific and so individualized that this training really provides a solid ground on how do you function more like a case manager for these individuals, where you're helping them to identify their goals and you're helping them to connect to resources that will set them up as they go into adulthood to be able to find sustainable housing and meet their own needs. So I am going to turn it over to Deanne, who is coordinating the training for everyone. Deanne, can you tell us a little bit more about what the training actually entails and kind of give us a picture of what that would look like for a CASA volunteer?
Yes, thank you, Sabrina. First of all, I just want to say I'm so excited to have the ability to bring this Fostering Futures training to Northern Colorado. Unfortunately, teens who are aging out of the foster care are faced with some pretty grim outcomes, in terms of unemployment, homelessness, mental health issues. And so really, we're just trying to improve the outcomes for these youth. And that's exactly what Fostering Futures is designed to do, is to really give CASA volunteers the tools and the resources to help teens succeed as they're aging out of foster care. Some of the things that we do focus on specifically is youth development, ways that the CASA volunteers can engage older youth. We also present the Possible Selves model. It's a really wonderful positive youth development model, which provides exercises and activities that enables the teenagers themselves to really get engaged in their own lives by being able to view themselves in a positive way. And so they're able to set goals and create action items overall for their lives moving forward.
Great, thanks. Megan, now you are in two roles for us, but today, if you think about this from the CASA volunteer role, how have you been able to implement some of the things that you've learned in the Fostering Futures training with the youth that's on your CASA case?
Sure, thanks, Sabrina. I went through the first Fostering Futures training in the fall, so I have been able to start working on some of the activities with my CASA kiddo. And one of the things that's been really beneficial for us is the Possible Selves model, and talking about who my kiddo really is and what is important to them and where they want to go with their life has been both incredibly challenging and asked a lot of questions that I don't think my CASA kiddo has ever been asked or really thought about before. But it's also been really rewarding. It's been pretty neat to see this child start to get excited about different opportunities that could be within their reach that I don't think this kiddo had ever really considered being possible for themselves before. So that's been my favorite part of the Fostering Futures program so far.
Great, thanks for sharing, Megan. And Dakota, you attended training, the regular CASA training in the fall, correct?
Yep, correct.
And then recently you just finished the second Fostering Futures class that Deanne just prepared for everyone. Can you tell us how you felt about the curriculum and how you're already starting to use it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I had two big takeaways from the Fostering Futures training. The first big takeaway was learning about the rights that these children have. I think that it was super beneficial to learn that they have a right to a CHAPI worker, and then it is our job to advocate for these rights, as well as their rights to certain documents as they age out. So learning that they had a right to their birth certificate, their social security card, their proof of foster care, and how important these documents are to these children as they age out. So that was a big takeaway, was learning that. And then the second big takeaway was also the possible selves model. I have already started using it. I found inspiration in the model. So we kind of altered it a little bit. My CASA kid likes to draw and design tattoos. And so we took the possible selves model, looking at his roots and looking at his positive outcomes and his possible positive outcomes for his next living situation, and having him design tattoos that look like what that might look like for him, if that kind of makes sense. So
that sounds so creative, and way to take a model that is already founded and making, you know, changes for the youth, but making it so personal for the youth that you're working for. What a great way to connect with your youth on a personal level, right?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I think it'll be exciting to see as time goes on. We're only a few months into, you know, having volunteers actively use the things that they've learned in the training. I think it'll be great to see the difference that it makes in the lives of the youth that we're working with. So if you are a CASA volunteer out there and you're interested in working with youth or attending the training, please reach out to Deanne and she'll be glad to tell you when the next training is coming up. And if you're hearing about all of this for the first time and you are interested in becoming a CASA volunteer so that you can help youth make a difference as they're aging out of foster care, please reach out to Annette at casalarimer.com. Thanks, everybody.